Hello everyone, and welcome to Veritas Backup Exec, Fast Pain Relief. I'm Mark Blessing, and I'm here with my friend, systems engineer Jordan Warsoff, and he's going to step you through some shortcomings of Veritas Backup Exec, as you'd expect, and demonstrate to you an alternative solution using Unitrends that will make your life a lot better. You know, I always thought backups should run in the background and not take you away from your main jobs or your other tasks that you have to do. And with Unitrends, that's certainly possible. Over to you, Jordan.
Thank you so much, Mark. And today, to kind of go over the agenda real quick, I'm going to talk about those pain points for about 5 minutes that BackupExec has. Then I'm going to dive into an industry overview, kind of what I've seen talking to customers around the globe. And then I'm going to dive into the Unitrends solution itself for about 10 minutes, talk about what we can do, and wrap that up with a product demonstration for about 20 minutes. And then we'll reserve the last 10 minutes for questions and answers. So to kind of begin, the top BackupExec pain points that we see is frankly an incomplete solution. BackupExec is for backup only, and they really offer no form of replication or disaster recovery. We often see that it's patching together a lot of other solutions with BackupExec, which adds time to administrative tasks, training, and frankly, making it difficult for someone new to learn the system. On top of that, it's a Windows platform. Most ransomware today is targeting Windows in particular. But since BackupExec is based on Windows, you do kind of expose yourself for the general viruses and other problems that could arise having Windows as an operating system. Unitrends also has, BackupExec has no integrated cloud. Veritas supports the use of public clouds only, and the users have to use cloud connectors supplied by those cloud vendors. That's not necessarily the case with all solutions out there, but it really makes it difficult to get your stuff off-site without having to manage and maintain and put all the capital into another site. The time to recovery is slower. People complain about instant recovery being limited to only disk. There's no support for recovering deduplicated data. Hyper-V for instant recovery is not supported, only VMware. On top of that, the recoverability itself is unknown. There's no form of backup verification other than BackupExec tells you that the backup's made it. The number of people I've heard who've had successful backups but aren't able to recover with BackupExec is monumental. And then on top of that, there's a complex utilization. There's many different screens to perform the same function, along with a large learning curve. 5. The 5 is a typo, but it's a large learning curve to be able to go through, learn, and be able to understand it, which kind of ties back to having an incomplete solution. So I'm going to address all of these points, showing you off what Unitrends is going to be able to do to help make your life easier. So first things first, I want to talk about the world today. Today is the less is more world. Everything's getting smaller, everything's required to do more, and we're supposed to do more with less. IT in particular has really faced this. IT has less time, less money, less downtime with more risks, more work, and more projects. Each individual staff member is expected to do more with less proportional budget and, frankly, with less proportional headcount. IT is becoming a vital part in many departments and organizations, and as you can look, now is accelerating. IT professionals, the yellow line at the bottom, the growing rate is pretty flat, pretty constant, whereas servers and VMs and data are growing exponentially. You're going to see a drastic degree of difference, and you're going to be responsible for more and more data, which means more and more complexity, which means, frankly, less time to do everything that you need to be able to accomplish in one day. And it's not just about the data growth. Not to mention now is accelerating in terms of attacks. There's been a drastic increase in cyber attacks. Cybersecurity is a vital thing right now. And frankly, you can see right now 40% of enterprises have been attacked by ransomware in 2015 alone. That number has been increasing into 2016. In fact, it was looking like 63% of businesses were down more than a day due to ransomware alone. And that's just one of the many types of downtime. In fact, North America, downtime costs about $700 billion every single year, which is mostly due to productivity loss, but also due to revenue loss and the cost to fix. One example of that is everyone heard about the story of Delta Airlines a few months ago. They had a data center outage that cost the company over $150 million. The average cost of data center outage is about $730,000. But just that concept of losing it, trying to get all the data back, the lost productivity, the lost time, as well as the effort to get back and maintain it is drastic. So we as IT professionals have to do a lot to prevent these kind of things. And frankly, if you're able to do this and not have any downtime, not have any issues, and you're able to maintain the status quo within the business, you're not thanked for it. In fact, in today's day and age, that's kind of expected. Doing your job 100% is just the bottom expectation. Anything less than that, and you have people breathing down your throat complaining, why is the email down? Why are servers not working? And so that's kind of why you need to find a solution that's going to be able to enable you to eliminate that kind of finger pointing, reduce the amount of management, more flexibility, up for longer, provide you with more confidence, and frankly, more free time, whether that's personal or whether that's business time, to move on to the other projects that are going to be more revenue producing. And that's exactly where Unitrends comes to play. Our whole focus is around how do we provide the easiest way possible to try to achieve these objectives while reducing the downtime and threats. You can see there's a lot of stuff that comes into play there, and the Unitrends all-in-one backup and continuity solution really is able to do that. We're protecting everything you have with the ransomware proof strategy. It's everywhere you need continuity and the guaranteed ability to recover, and all within a single intuitive platform. This means you're going to be able to protect your whole environment. You're going to be able to be resistant from ransomware or other threats, because not only are you doing your proper cybersecurity and network security configuration, but you have a backup solution to help you recover in case anything were to happen or you were to go down. You're able to get your data to our cloud, your cloud, any cloud, and you can have that guaranteed recovery through recovery assurance, testing, and other forms that Unitrends can provide that other solutions can't. And all of this is a very simple, easy to learn, easy to use platform. It's HTML5 that's going to make you more effective to doing the backups and recoveries and management that you need on a day-to-day basis. So let's look at what the Unitrends platform has to offer. The biggest part of our all-in-one backup and continuity is our Recovery Series physical appliances. These are all-in-one physical backup appliances that deliver simple enterprise backup and continuity. They basically come in, they're going to provide the software, the storage, and the compute to be able to perform the backup you need for your environment. You put this in, and you're going to be able to be managing it up within a couple of minutes. You'll be able to back everything up, deploy agents to protect everything you need, and you can even get this over to the Unitrends cloud for the easiest hybrid cloud solution, or replicate to your own site for your own private cloud solution. There's tons of options. Or don't even use a cloud, that's okay. If you happen to have your own hardware and you just want to utilize our backup software, the same stuff we try and test and have proven to be true for over 20 years, go ahead and look at our Unitrends Enterprise Backup software. It's an all-in-one virtual appliance that delivers the exact same protection with physical servers, virtual servers, but in a software package you can put in your environment. You provide the storage, you provide the compute, and we'll provide the application. On top of that, Unitrends does have some other tools kind of outside the scope of what you would consider standard backup and recovery. Unitrends offers Office 365 cloud backup. So you're going from the Office 365 backup to another cloud within Azure. It's an easy to use tool. So you can use the portal, just simply plug and play. You don't have to have anything installed locally, easily managed, even have your end users recovering emails within minutes. And then Unitrends also has Boomerang. Boomerang is a tool that enables you to take your VMware data. So if you have VMware snapshots, VMware backups, and replicate them to Azure or AWS and back again. Deploy them up there if you need to use the added resources, or in a case of a disaster recovery scenario, you can get the data up there and utilize it that way. Very easy to use, and frankly, a great tool for being able to ensure your long-term recovery. So, enough about our catalog. Let's talk about where Unitrends fits. As you'd imagine, you would deploy either the virtual appliance on your hypervisor in your environment or the Unitrends physical appliance. All of these can be managed from one interface. So if you happen to have multiple appliances or multiple sites, you'll be able to manage that all from a single pane of glass. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to go into our demo lab. We happen to be running the software version right now, but here you can see this is the dashboard. I can see very quickly a custom view of everything that's going on. It's very clean. I can know if there was any errors or what data is being protected, the speed of said backups, and the storage I'm utilizing. Any active jobs can be shown here, and I can easily customize this to add additional tabs of details of information and remove pieces that I don't think I need. It's nice to be able to get that very easily, and I can easily move the different pieces around. If I want my recovery summary more visible, I can easily do that and reset it all if need be. Over here on the left side is the different pages to do the different functionalities, and within them you have different tabs that we'll be looking at today. So, the most important part about an all-in-one backup and continuity solution is the backup. And that's kind of how it all begins. Everything you're protecting, whether it's physical servers, virtual servers, NAS devices, applications, are all going to be landed on your local Unitrends appliance. Everything is inline deduplicated or post-process deduplicated, and then we compress that data. So we're efficiently utilizing your storage, whether it's with our software or with our physical appliance. We can protect physical servers utilizing an agent. We deploy a small lightweight agent, grab the files, back that up. We can also protect physical servers or NASs using CIFS or NFS mounts, grab the data that way. Or with your virtual servers, we can protect those by communicating with the hypervisor, taking snapshots, which we support for VMware, Hyper-V, and Zen Server. Land those snapshots, and then you can use those for recovering individual files or the whole virtual machine. Unitrends also offers the ability, if snapshots don't make sense for your environment or for a specific VM, you can deploy an agent. No additional charge, no additional cost. We believe in giving you that flexibility and customization because no two environments are the same, so why should your backup product force you to back everything up the same way? On top of that, we also have application level protection. Unitrends has native integration with some applications such as SQL, Exchange, and Oracle, where we can go in, quiesce those databases, back them up, and then recover them to other locations. On top of that, you can dump any backup file, and we can grab that with our file level backup. So a lot of options for protection, and then a lot of recovery options too. You can recover whole files back to physical servers, back to virtual servers, and recover whole VMs as well. There's a lot of options to be able to do with the recovery. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like in the interface. So I'm going to assume that we've already configured, we either deployed the agents or we've added the hypervisor within the interface. Very quick and easy to do. Once they're there, they're going to show up in the Protect tab. The Protect tab gives a summary of everything you can possibly protect, as well as the status of the protection. If I click here on my Unitrends appliance, it gives me a list of the status of the backups. Here's everything I could be protecting. Everything with a green check mark has been successfully backed up. Anything with a yellow exclamation or a red exclamation mark would be a warning or failure, respectively. And I can go ahead and click on any of these successful backups. It tells me how many were run. I can click the details and get the detailed backup log. You see, within 3 clicks of logging into an appliance, I can be finding out what failures or what issues occurred. The funny thing is, you may not even have to log into your Unitrends appliance to figure that out. Unitrends actually sends an email report every single day giving you the status of your most recent backups so that you know if there's an issue before having to log in and find out on the back end. You're able to very easily understand and see what went wrong, and you can immediately fix it to make sure that your next backup can run successfully. To create a backup job, I click here at the backup button right here. What this is going to do is it's going to open up the backup wizard. I give it a name. And then I select what type of thing I want to back up. So if I want to back up a file level backup, I can check off which servers I want to include. I can edit to add certain folders to protect or remove certain folders. I can automatically include new servers that are added to the appliance. And then from here, I set up my schedule. Unitrends by default does an incremental forever strategy where we run one full backup, and then from there on out, we run incremental backups, never requiring a full from the source asset again. The asset being the item we are protecting. This enables you to have consistent protection at the fastest speed while making your backup appliance actually do the work of the backup instead of your production. By just taking the data that changes, we're going to be able to fill out fulls, do full recoveries, but without requiring the same backup window. From here, if that's not what you want, you can do fulls and incrementals, fulls and differentials, or build out your own schedule by coming here to the custom, and you can click and drag the different types of backups, set the recurrence you want them to, and you'll be able to recover with any time that you would like. So it's as easy as that. I set up how often, I set where I want it to go, hit save, and this creates a backup job. It's as easy as that. If I want to protect virtual machines, for example, I've already added my vCenter. Without an agent, it just simply can detect all the VMs. I check off which VMs I want to include. And you see I can specifically include specific virtual disks by unchecking here. I can automatically include new VMs that are added to the host, and then from there, set up the same schedule. Same exact story with applications. For example, if I wanted to do a SQL backup, here's my SQL server. I can come in, select the databases I want to back up, automatically include new ones, hit save, and I got a backup job. Great. We're landing the data. It's being deduplicated. It's being compressed. I can even optionally encrypt it with AES 256 encryption for maximum security. Now I need to recover my stuff. The way you do that is you come here to the Recover tab. Under here, you get the Backup Catalog. This gives you a filtered view of the backups you currently have on the appliance. I can see here each of the different assets that I'm protecting, and you can see underneath the different backup times that we perform. So here, this NAS we backed up, looks like every single day at 2 a.m. Let's say I want to back up a file from my file server. I have an agent deployed. It looks like I'm backing up every day at 3 a.m. I can select one of these, and you see on the top, the Recover and Recover Files buttons come to life. I can click this, Recover Files, and I can browse through all the files on that server at that point in time and add them to be recovered. I can do whole folders, individual files, or even whole drives. From there, I set up where I want to recover them to. I can recover them back to the same server or a completely different server. The choice is yours. Set up the directory. So let's say I want to send it to e/recovery. You can see I've done this before. Set up any exclusion patterns, the commands to run, hit save, and you'll be good to go. This will then set up that recovery job and recover those files to that location. Alternatively, with a Windows machine, if I'm doing a file level backup of Windows Server, I also offer the ability to do Windows Instant Recovery. Windows Instant Recovery creates a virtual failover client hosted on your physical appliance, your VMware environment, or your Hyper-V environment. What this basically does is it makes a standby virtual version of your physical server that's updated with every single backup. This means that I can come in here, I got this SQL server, it'll be waiting in the wings, and even though it's a physical SQL server right now, if it happens to fail, I can come to my Unitrends box, and in less than 5 minutes, I can have that physical server up and running just like it was from the last time I backed it up. What a great story about disaster recovery, whether it's local or at another site. With virtual machines, we have even more flexibility. Here I've got an Oracle virtual server. I can select one of these backups that was performed with a snapshot. You can see we're doing incremental forever. Here a synthetic full was created automatically. I can recover individual files out of the backup itself, or I can recover the whole VM. To recover the whole VM, I click Recover, and I'm given a location. I can select which host, which resource I want to utilize, and which storage. From there, I can choose the name that I want to set to that VM, hit save, and this is going to automatically communicate with the vCenter and spin up that server for you. If you want it up even quicker and don't want to wait for it to transfer to that target storage, Unitrends offers the ability to do VMware Instant Recovery with both VMware and Hyper-V. The way this works is it's going to utilize Unitrends as a data store, add it to the host, and then either using storage vMotion or live migration, get that virtual machine to the secondary site. Once it's at the second location, it'll be failed over, and this host will be using that storage. It's a great and easy way to get your virtual machines online quicker, even if you're running in a degraded performance. In a disaster scenario, if you have servers you just have to get up no matter what, this is going to be a great way to make sure you're online as quick as possible. And you can simply come in here, set up the different resources, the data stores, and it'll take care of all the work for you. Nice, very easy, very efficient way to be able to recover that. Not to mention I recover whole files out of that virtual machine backup. So a lot of stuff we just went over. There's a lot Unitrends can back up and even more ways Unitrends can recover. I don't even have time to go through all of it, but if there's some stuff you're interested in, feel free to follow up with us and we'd be happy to show you additional features that we can back up and recover. But it's good. We've got the data protected. We've seen multiple of the ways that we can recover it, but that's not enough. What happens if I lose that site? What happens if I lose that appliance? What happens if I lose both? That's where Unitrends has the architecture to be able to handle even more than that. With a proper strategy, which is more important than the technology, you're going to be able to come back from fire, flood, ransomware, whatever attacks may come your way. Unitrends can get the data offsite in multiple ways. One is the backup copy to cold targets. This takes the data that's stored locally on the backup appliances and copies it to some kind of removable or cheaper storage media. This could be a NAS target, a SAN target. This could also be an RxDA, which is a 4-port eSATA dock that Unitrends utilizes to copy data to removable hard drives. Take those hard drives off site, take them home, send them to Iron Mountain or some other equivalent. The choice is yours. Unitrends also has some capability with tape drives where we can send data to tape, such as like an LTO over a SAS connection. Send data to those tapes, and you can take those tapes off site or keep them in a library, whatever you need to do. Unitrends also offers backup copy to hot targets, where Unitrends will be able to copy the data using WAN-optimized replication to send it either to another Unitrends device at a secondary site that you control, another Unitrends device at a hyperscale cloud, like in Azure or soon-to-be AWS, or Unitrends can replicate to our public cloud, where Unitrends will not only keep the data and keep the same first in, first out retention, but Unitrends will actually keep the data forever in our cloud. We'll keep the last 7 days, 4 weeklies, 12 monthlies, and then infinite yearlies in our cloud. The nice thing is you can recover any of the data that's been replicated in another site using backup copy to hot target, all from within the interface. You don't need to call in. You can't only recover at that remote site. You can recover it very easily from any location. And then the nice thing is all the instant recovery options are available at that secondary site. You can spin up VMware machines, Hyper-V machines, and Windows servers at those secondary sites using those respective instant recovery technologies. In fact, with the Unitrends public cloud, you can do that as well. And all of it, including our cloud or your cloud, can be tested utilizing a reliable DR, a product that provides recovery assurance to know with certainty that the applications you want to be able to spin up, that you want to be able to recover, are going to be able to do so in a time frame you've desired. Because instead of just testing to make sure that the login screen is there, we go all the way to make sure and test that the application works. We log in, we'll script that and make sure the services are running, because how often is it that you'll get a snapshot of a virtual machine, you'll spin it up, and it logs in, but none of the actual applications work because of the corruptions. What a great way to be able to figure that out using recovery assurance. So let's go take a look at how easy it is to get your data off-site utilizing Unitrends. To do so, I'm going to show you another tab. This is the Jobs tab. Under the Jobs tab, I can currently look at the active jobs. Let's go over to the Job Manager. The Job Manager shows all the different backups I'm performing. I can see the different schedules. I can see the details of what I'm specifically backing up, and I can easily edit them. I can even check off multiple boxes. I can disable all of them. I can enable all of them. It's very easy to be able to kind of come in and set up whatever I need to be able to do. And it's quick, easy, and I can even run them right now. I can create a backup copy job in the Protect screen. I can also do it in this screen. From here, I select Create Job, Backup Copy, give it a name, and then I select which assets I want to send to the remote site. So I'm going to check these off, and it'll include everything underneath. So for example, all the Exchange will be included. And then from here, I select the target. This software has both the Unitrends cloud set up and an archive target. For the archive target, I get a whole schedule. I select which backups I want to send, any specific types. I can choose which specific backups I want to do in terms of a date range. And I can also choose how often I want it to run, whether it's on a standard scheduling mode or in the custom calendar mode. From there, I can test to make sure there's enough space, and it'll verify that using both the NAS or the tape. And here you can see this job is going to be between 7 to 40 gigabytes, probably 26, and it will probably not fit because the media only has 26.4. Great, I know for sure I know with some certainty what's going to happen. I can easily set it up. I can fail the backup job and send the alert, or I can try to overwrite data that's on there. Alternatively, if I'm looking to replicate to a secondary site, no scheduling comes into play. This is because what's going on is with our backup copy to hot target, we're doing the WAN optimized replication so that all the data is going to be hashed and only send the unique stuff. After every backup occurs, we're going to attempt to replicate that backup. So everything that you're backing up is sent to the backup copy to hot target you have configured. So all these assets would be going to this site. And if I want to recover it, I can come here to the Recover tab. So if I were to import a backup copy to cold target, such as a hard drive, a NAS, or tape, I would plug it in and I would import that backup copy. If I want to recover data that's been replicated, I come over here, I select backup copy to hot target, and here's where we can show off some of the features to be able to back up old data. So here, for example, I want to back up something from, let's say, June. So I can come in, here's June 1st. So I'm filtering this a little differently, and it's going to show me all the backups that performed then, and I can see here these purple ones were created at the remote site. I can actually go in, and with this file level backup, despite being a remote, I can actually browse through all of the files that are there and recover them just like it was when it was local here. How cool is this to be able to get this much data and information? So here I can see some 7.5 documents. I can do whole folders again, a recycling bin. And once I save this is going to download it from that remote site, send it back to me. I can also import to source, and I can import the whole backup to be able to have that a local once again. The option also exists with VMs to recover those, so you can see a lot of great functionality and flexibility when utilizing all these different cloud platforms. So as you can see, a lot to show. I can copy that data to local things to be able to take off site and remove economically. I can also send that data live over the internet to another location, so it doesn't require any manual intervention, and I'm going to be able to recover it at the secondary site without having to import or get disks together or anything like that. It also enables some disaster recovery planning, where I'm going to be able to instantly recover VMware, Hyper-V, or some Windows servers. All this done over the one simple, easy-to-use customer interface that focuses on providing ease of use and a bevy of information. For example, here under the Reports tab, I can actually view all the different reports about my appliance. I can see, data reduction, for example, over the last month. Generate this report, and I can see my deduplication ratios. I can see my data reduction ratios, all within here. And all these reports you can export, send them to management, send them to yourself, keep them for auditors, so you can see what's being backed up, any issues that have come up, and more. Very easy to be able to set up and utilize to kind of your flexibility and what your environment needs are, not what your backup vendor is telling you to do. So that's mostly what I have. As you can see, we've have a ton of customers that have been so happy with using us. Here are just some examples of quotes, but there's so much more. You can go onto our website or even on Twitter, and you'll hear about all these people who have been attacked with ransomware and were able to combat it utilizing Unitrends' kind of all-in-one capabilities, because frankly, the only way you're really going to be able to combat and never be struck with ransomware is having a proper backup strategy. It's going to be able to enable you to never have an issue again. Lastly, if this is something of interest to you, I want to make sure to point out our fourth quarter promotion. We have, for a limited time, it's called a Supersize Your Unitrends Appliance. Basically, for a limited time, we're going to be selling you one appliance up. So if you're going in for an 814S, we'll sell you an 818S at the same price. So no additional hardware costs. Just get 3 years of support, and we're going to automatically upgrade you, prepare you for dealing with maybe in additional growth, being able to do more Windows Instant Recovery locally, a ton of options. It's a great deal and a lot to be able to do. So hopefully we were able to demonstrate a lot of great stuff that Unitrends can do, how Unitrends can ideally make your life a little easier than it was before.
Great. Thank you very much, Jordan. God, I feel better already. So we have a number of questions coming in. Why don't I read them to you? Thomas asks, which hypervisors do you support with your products?
Great question. So the cool answer is we support a ton of hypervisors. We can support VMware, Hyper-V, and Zen Server with snapshot backups. But we also today have a ton of customers that are using Oracle VM, KVM, Nutanix, a bunch of other stuff where we're able to go in, because we're treating those servers with our flexible platform, we're able to go in and protect all that environment and recover that as needed. And we'll have more hypervisors added as coming up this year. I believe in 2017 we'll have even more hypervisor support, especially looking around Nutanix and stuff like that with those hyper-converged solutions.
Great. So Jen asks, what about cloud-to-cloud backup?
Awesome. So like if someone's in Azure, AWS, and they want to back up their data in there?
Exactly.
Okay. Unitrends today supports deployment in Azure, and we are going to very soon be supporting deployment in AWS. What we can do is you'll install the software version of Unitrends in those sites, and then from there, you'll be able to back up all the files within it, and then you can replicate that to our public cloud, keep that forever. Or replicate it to another instance of cloud, or even replicate it back down to your local. The whole point is to offer that maximum flexibility and kind of customize the solution to what makes sense for your environment.
Oh, that's great. So how about this one from Terry? Do you have any tools to migrate from BackupExec to Unitrends?
A good question. Unfortunately, no. We don't have an explicit tool to import your BackupExec backups or anything like that. However, we have a ton of customers that are simply able to go through and back up the whole environment, build a new strategy, and frankly, a more successful strategy using our product. You might need to keep some BackupExec around because they have proprietary data on their, proprietary locks on their backups. So you're not able to get it unless you use their software. We didn't like that strategy. So what Unitrends does with all of our backups, it's non-proprietary. They're actually in tarballs. So if you, for whatever reason, go with Unitrends and it turns out it's not a right fit, you go with another solution, your backups are not locked to Unitrends. You can get those tarballs and you can open them up yourself and get your data back. Not the easiest process, but at the very least, it's possible. Versus with BackupExec, you don't have a choice.
Wow. Okay, great. Dave asks, how does your cloud capabilities compare to Veeam's?
Good question. With Unitrends, we have our own supported, managed, and constructed cloud. We've devised it for our product. We devised it to keep the data forever, and it's comprehensive and it's the same no matter where you are in the globe. You kind of understand what you're getting. Unitrends also even offers seeding into our cloud, so you can seed your backups, ship it to us, so that way you don't have to transfer all the data over the internet and wait. And in case of a disaster, we're able to ship you back all your data on a new appliance. We can even do spin-ups in our cloud. So you make one phone call, we'll be able to bring back your VMware, your Hyper-V instantly.
Nice. Okay, Dave, I hope they answered your question. So, on to Mike, who asks, for Office 365 backup, do we need to use Azure?
So for Office 365, yes. Our Office 365 backup is going from Office 365 into Azure. This may sound like a negative, but it's actually not. Because once you're in an Office 365 environment, the only way you're going to be able to recover any emails or anything is with Office 365. So if you're going to another site or you're even bringing that data down locally, you don't have your Exchange environment anymore. How are you going to be able to recover your emails? How are you going to be able to recover that data? So your only option is to go back up to Office 365. So that's kind of why we decided to keep everything within the ecosystem, because it's all about recovery plan. You should be focusing on not how do I do my backup, but how do I recover? And that there tells you the story, and you work backwards. Just like when you were going to TGI Fridays and you were filling out the maze with crayons, you start at the end and you go back to the start. It's much easier that way than going the other way around.
Oh, no wonder I never could get those right. Okay. Another question from Jen. What about security? Is Unitrends encrypted?
Yes. So Unitrends, all data in transit with Unitrends replicating to another site is encrypted over OpenVPN with an OpenSSL. So we are protected. All data in transfer can't really be sniffed out. With our local backups for data at rest, we have the option to do AES 256 encryption, so you can encrypt your data if you need to do that at rest, or you can choose not to encrypt the data at rest to take the benefits and advantages of deduplication and compression. But you can choose to encrypt any data that you're sending to a hard drive or tape. So any data that's going to a backup copy to a cold target, you can encrypt even if the data at rest was not. Good question.
Wow, great. Question from Larry. How does dedupe affect Exchange GRT backups?
Fortunately, it doesn't. With our deduplication, it's all occurring after the backup process has occurred. So as long as we can do the Exchange backup, we're going to land it local on our appliance and then deduplicate it later. And then we'll rehydrate it when we need to recover. So it shouldn't have any effect on your backups, nor in performance, because we're doing it all in line on our backup appliance.
Nice. Okay, we have one more question, unless any more get sent in the meantime. Alan asks, is Reliable DR a separate product from Recovery Series or embedded?
It's a good question. It is separate today to be able to provide that recovery assurance. We can do it in our cloud or at your site. But no, we do, it's currently separated. However, we're happy to work out a deal to make sure that you can get the proper recovery plan and proper, recovery assurance and basically the holistic approach. What's your whole recovery plan? What's your whole disaster recovery? Your business continuity strategy. And from there, we'll make sure that we can find a way to address it. And if that includes RDR, we'll be happy to work with you and find a way to make it work right.
Oh, great. Well, thanks, Jordan, and thank you, everyone out there. That concludes our Q&A session. No more questions have come in. Again, thanks for your time. I'll be sending you a recorded version of this webcast. And yes, I hope this helped you a lot. Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Bye.